A 180-pound Viking walks into your gym. Across from him stands a modern bodybuilder, 280 pounds of muscle, someone who benches 405 pounds and squats over 600. On paper, this shouldn't even be a competition. The bodybuilder looks like he belongs on the cover of a fitness magazine. The Viking looks ordinary, then someone suggests two simple challenges. First, an arm wrestle. Then, rowing a boat for an entire day. Every person watching immediately puts their money on the bodybuilder. Bigger muscles, advanced training, modern nutrition, decades of sports science. How could he possibly lose? But then something unexpected happens. The bodybuilder's grip begins to fail within seconds. His arm starts shaking. Meanwhile, the Viking barely changes expression. And when the rowing challenge begins, the difference becomes almost unbelievable. After less than an hour, the bodybuilder is exhausted. His shoulders burn, his hands cramp, and every pull feels heavier than the last. The Viking just keeps rowing, hour after hour, almost effortlessly, as if this is simply another normal day. That imaginary matchup reveals something fascinating about human strength. We've become obsessed with one kind of strength while almost completely forgetting another. By the end of this video, you'll understand why a man weighing only 180 pounds could sometimes outperform someone over 100 pounds heavier, why scientists studying Viking remains found evidence that surprised them, and why the way most people train today develops only part of what the human body is truly capable of. Before we compare them, let's clear up one important misconception. Modern bodybuilders are, without question, far larger than Viking warriors ever were. Archaeological evidence suggests the average Viking male stood roughly between 5 feet 8 inches and 5 feet 10 inches tall, and typically weighed somewhere around 170 to 190 pounds. That's about the size of many regular gym goers today. Compare that with today's elite competitors. A natural bodybuilder of similar height might step on stage weighing between 200 and 220 pounds after years of disciplined training. Enhanced bodybuilders often weigh anywhere from 250 pounds to well over 300 pounds during the off-season. That's an enormous difference in muscle mass. If you brought both athletes into a powerlifting gym, the outcome would be obvious. The bodybuilder would dominate nearly every maximum strength lift. Bench press, bodybuilder wins. Squat, bodybuilder wins. Deadlift, almost certainly the bodybuilder again. Modern strength training is incredibly effective at producing maximum force in controlled movements. So if modern athletes are clearly stronger in the gym, why do historians, archaeologists, and exercise scientists keep pointing toward Viking physical abilities with so much respect? The answer begins with their skeletons. Researchers studying Viking skeletal remains noticed something unusual. One of the scholars who has spent decades studying Viking society is Professor Neil Price of Uppsala University. While his work primarily focuses on Viking culture and archaeology, examinations of Viking skeletons by researchers have consistently revealed heavy wear patterns and exceptionally developed muscle attachment sites on many individuals. These attachment points are the places where muscles connect to bone. The larger and rougher they become, the more evidence there is that those muscles were repeatedly exposed to significant physical stress over many years. What surprised researchers wasn't simply that Vikings were strong. It was that their bones often suggested workloads that seemed extraordinary for people of their size. Their shoulders showed signs of constant pulling. Their backs revealed years of carrying heavy loads. Their forearms displayed repeated strain that would normally be associated with people performing physically demanding labor throughout their entire lives. These weren't occasional workouts. These were lifetime adaptations. And that's where modern comparisons often go wrong. People imagine Vikings spending hours lifting giant rocks or training with primitive barbells. In reality, they rarely trained the way we think of training today. They simply lived. Imagine waking before sunrise. Before breakfast, you're already preparing a long ship. If you're part of a raid or a trading expedition, rowing isn't today's workout, it's today's transportation. Hours pass. Not 30 minutes, not 45. Sometimes 10, 12, or even more hours of repeated pulling depending on weather, currents, and distance. Then you arrive. Now the work actually begins. You unload cargo, carry supplies, repair equipment, cut timber, raise shelters, handle livestock, work fields using hand tools, haul fishing nets soaked with water and packed with fish. Everything you touch has weight. Everything requires effort. Nothing is powered by electricity, nothing is automated, there are no forklifts, no tractors, no hydraulic lifts. Your own body is the machine. And tomorrow, you do it all again. This constant physical demand created a type of adaptation that's very different from modern gym training. Today's bodybuilder follows carefully designed routines. Monday might be chest, Tuesday back, Wednesday legs. Each workout targets specific muscles with precise exercises, carefully calculated repetitions, progressive overload, and planned recovery. Rest is considered part of the program because muscles grow during recovery. Everything is optimized for maximum muscle development and strength in specific movement patterns. That's incredibly effective for building size and power. But the Viking body wasn't optimized for isolated performance. It was optimized for survival. Their nervous system wasn't learning how to produce maximum force for one heavy lift. It was learning something far more demanding: produce enough force over and over while already exhausted without knowing when the work will finally stop. That difference changes everything. One of the biggest differences was grip strength and work capacity. Research shows that people who perform demanding manual labor every day, like dock workers, fishermen, loggers, and construction workers, often develop incredible grip endurance despite having smaller muscles than recreational lifters. Vikings experienced this from childhood. Every rope, axe, shield, spear, oar, fishing net, and heavy load strengthened their hands and forearms through constant use. Their bodies weren't just trained for an hour, they were conditioned all day, every day. The same applied to endurance. Modern workouts alternate between lifting and resting, but Vikings rarely had that luxury. Whether rowing for hours, farming, or fighting, they kept working without planned breaks. Over time, their bodies adapted by improving endurance, oxygen delivery, and fatigue resistance. They may not have produced the biggest muscles, but they developed strength that could keep going for hours, much like a heavy-duty truck that may be slower than a race car, but can pull massive loads all day long. So, asking who was stronger is actually the wrong question. A modern bodybuilder would almost certainly win the bench press, squat, and deadlift. But change the challenge to rowing for 8 hours, hauling heavy supplies, or chopping wood until sunset, and the advantage shifts dramatically. Strength isn't only about producing maximum force, it's about sustaining useful force over long periods. That's why today's military personnel, firefighters, rescue workers, and tactical athletes increasingly combine strength with endurance, grip training, loaded carries, and movement under fatigue. Viking life naturally built these qualities because physical hardship wasn't optional. It was everyday life. That constant exposure developed not only physical endurance, but also mental toughness, allowing them to keep going long after most people would have stopped. Now, to be fair, if you dropped a modern professional bodybuilder into Viking-age Scandinavia, life would become incredibly difficult. Their massive muscles would demand far more calories than the environment could provide, and endless manual labor would quickly expose weaknesses in endurance and recovery. But flip the scenario. Put a healthy Viking into a modern gym, teach them proper lifting technique, progressive overload, nutrition, and recovery, and they'd likely adapt surprisingly well. Would they instantly bench 500 pounds? Of course not. Strength is always specific. But years of real-world physical work would give them an incredible foundation to build on. And that's the lesson modern fitness is slowly rediscovering. Vikings weren't following secret workout plans. They simply lived in an environment that demanded functional strength every single day. Today, exercises like loaded carries, sled drags, sandbag training, rowing, hill climbs, grip work, and heavy pulling have become popular because they train the body the way real life does. Even strongman competitions reflect this idea. Competitors don't just lift barbells, they carry stones, pull trucks, drag heavy objects, and keep working under fatigue, just like people had to do centuries ago. So, who was actually stronger? Inside a gym, the modern bodybuilder wins almost every maximum lift. But when it comes to useful strength, that lasts for hours instead of seconds. The Viking has the clear advantage. The real lesson is simple. Your body adapts to whatever you repeatedly ask it to do. Train for size, you'll get bigger. Train for endurance, you'll last longer. Train to work under fatigue, and that's exactly what you'll become good at. Maybe the better question isn't, how much can you bench? Maybe it's, how long can you keep going when the work isn't finished? If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.